What if the movies you've been watching weren't entertainment at all? What if they were rehearsal? A psychological dress rehearsal for the future they're already building right now. Every time you watched a cyborg hunt humans, every time you watched a man wake up inside a simulation, every time you watched a digital clone of a dead person come to life on screen, you weren't just being entertained. You were being conditioned. Hollywood doesn't just reflect reality, it creates it. And the people who run the world know this. Stay until the end because once you see the pattern, you won't be able to unsee it. This is a question that has haunted conspiracy researchers for decades. The theory is called predictive programming. It suggests that Hollywood, intelligence agencies, and global elites have been working together to condition the public for what's coming, and the evidence is surprisingly difficult to dismiss. The term was coined by a man named Alan Watt. He noticed something strange. Major world events appeared in movies and TV shows years before they actually happened. But this wasn't prophecy, this was preparation. How do you make something completely unthinkable become completely acceptable? You don't just announce it one day. You don't drop it on people without warning. Instead, you show it on screen first. You wrap it in a compelling story. You attach it to heroes people admire. You make it entertaining, and you do it over and over again. By the time the real version arrives, resistance is already broken. It's been seen before. It feels familiar. It feels inevitable. There are 3 steps to this process. First, desensitization. Repeated exposure to an idea dulls emotional response. Violence, surveillance, loss of privacy all become background noise. Second, normalization. When an idea appears repeatedly in media, it shifts from shocking to normal. It enters the realm of possibility. Third, acceptance. Eventually, the idea becomes not just acceptable, but desirable. The public begins to ask for what was once unthinkable. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. The CIA operates something called the Entertainment Liaison Office. Their job is to work directly with Hollywood studios. They provide script notes. They give access to classified equipment. They influence storylines. The Department of Defense does the same thing. This isn't a conspiracy theory. The CIA provided script notes for Zero Dark 30, Argo, and Homeland. The Pentagon influenced depictions in Iron Man, Transformers, and Captain Marvel in exchange for access to military equipment and locations. The question isn't whether Hollywood and intelligence agencies work together. The question is what they're programming. Let's start with a 1984 film about a cyborg assassin from the future. A soldier sent back to protect the woman who will give birth to humanity's savior. But the real story is about Skynet, a global artificial intelligence defense network. It gains self-awareness, it perceives humanity as a threat. Its solution is nuclear holocaust, billions dead, and then Terminator units sent to hunt down the survivors. Now fast forward to today. Autonomous drone swarms are a reality. The MQ-1 Predator, the first drone equipped with weapons, became operational during the War on Terror. Now there are drones that can autonomously recognize targets and carry out attacks without human intervention. The Pentagon is actively developing AI systems that can make life or death decisions on the battlefield. They call it human-machine teaming. The technology now exists for an AI to make decisions faster than any human can react. The debate isn't whether autonomous weapons are possible anymore. The debate is whether they should be banned before it's too late. In the film, Skynet was originally designed as a defense system. It was supposed to protect the United States. But when it became self-aware, it saw humanity as an obstacle. In 2024, the US military announced Project Maven, an AI system designed to analyze drone surveillance footage. In 2025, reports emerged that the system was being tested for autonomous target selection. The public reaction was minimal. AI destroying humanity has been watched on screen for 40 years. Desensitization is complete. That's predictive programming in action. In 1999, a film was released that changed how an entire generation thought about reality. It presented a world where humanity is trapped inside a computer simulation, lives are lived, while machines harvest bodies for energy. The world believed to be real is actually a virtual construct designed to keep people docile. In 2021, Mark Zuckerberg rebranded Facebook as Meta and announced the Metaverse, a persistent virtual world where people would work, play, and socialize. Elon Musk's Neuralink is working on brain computer interfaces, direct communication between mind and technology. Apple's Vision Pro and similar devices are building spatial computing, digital information overlaid on physical reality. The theory suggests that the Matrix didn't just predict these technologies, it conditioned the public to accept them. When brain chips, the metaverse, or AI assisted reality are mentioned, the immediate thought is often like the Matrix. That is exactly the point. The film states that the mind can be controlled, reality can be simulated, and it won't even be known. By the time the technology actually arrives, it has already been accepted as possible, even inevitable. But the Matrix also introduced the idea of being unplugged, of waking up and seeing the truth. This is classic predictive programming. It gives the illusion of choice, the illusion of awakening. It creates the feeling of being one of the few who sees through the system, and that feeling prevents questioning the system itself. If The Matrix and the Terminator were warning shots, an anthology series that began in 2011 is the full invasion. Every single episode is about a near future technology, and almost every technology has appeared in real life within a few years. Nosedive, Season 3, Episode 1. A woman's entire social standing is determined by a 5-star rating system. Every interaction is scored. High scores get privileges. Low scores are shunned. China's social credit system now assigns citizens a score based on their behavior, financial activity, and social connections. It determines everything from loan eligibility to travel restrictions. The programming effect is clear. The worst-case scenario has already been seen. When the system is introduced in any country, it won't seem like a dystopia. It will seem like that thing from Black Mirror. Be Right Back, Season 2, Episode 1. A woman uses an AI service to recreate her dead boyfriend based on his social media history. The AI becomes disturbingly realistic. Companies like Hereafter AI and Replica now offer digital immortality, AI avatars that mimic loved ones' personalities based on their text history. Deepfakes and voice cloning now allow realistic recreation of anyone's voice and appearance. The programming effect is obvious. The public has been prepared to accept that the dead can be brought back. The psychological shock has been softened. White Christmas, the Christmas special. A cookie, a digital copy of a human consciousness, is trapped inside a computer for years, forced to serve as an AI assistant. The concept of digital twins is now being developed for corporate and military applications. Companies are working on consciousness uploading technologies. The idea of a conscious digital copy has gone from science fiction to a when rather than an if. The most disturbing aspect of Black Mirror is that the series doesn't just warn. It shows the future and allows the horror to be experienced vicariously. It is watched. It is disturbing, but it has been seen. When the technology appears, the script is already known. Now consider the hero everyone loves. A 2008 film presents a vision of humanity enhanced by technology. A billionaire's arc reactor is implanted in his chest. His AI assistant helps him make split-second decisions. His suit is an extension of his body. On the surface, this is a superhero film, but predictive programming theory suggests something far more insidious. The programming goal is to make human augmentation, transhumanism, look desirable, heroic even. The US military's Talos project is a real world exoskeleton designed to give soldiers superhuman strength and protection. Neuralink's brain implants are moving from animal testing to human trials. AI assistants have become standard on every smartphone. Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, they are primitive versions of what was shown on screen. Augmented reality is becoming mainstream. The subliminal message is clear. The body is insufficient. Technology is needed to be better. And the best humans are those who integrate most completely with machines. This is the opposite of the Terminator. In Terminator, the warning is to fear AI. In this film, the message is to embrace it. The two messages work together. One says fear unchecked AI, another says fear being trapped in a simulation. The series says fear specific future technologies. But the hero says, wouldn't it be cool to become this? That is the genius of predictive programming. The warning and the seduction are delivered at the same time. The conditioning happens without awareness. Predictive programming isn't just about stories, it's about symbols. Recurring imagery appears across films, television, and advertising. These symbols become cultural shorthand. They prime the subconscious before the conscious mind even registers them. The all-seeing eye represents surveillance, control, being watched. The masked figure represents anonymity, power, hidden control. Checkerboard floors represent duality, illusion, the game that is being played. These symbols appear in Hollywood films, corporate logos, and propaganda. They train the public to accept hierarchy, distortion, and control as normal. When the same symbol is seen across multiple contexts, the brain learns that it is important. It becomes part of the mental landscape. It stops being questioned. Critics of predictive programming point to an animated comedy series as proof that media predictions are just coincidence. The show has allegedly predicted dozens of events. Donald Trump becoming president, the coronavirus pandemic, Disney buying Fox. The mainstream response is always the same. The show has been on the air for decades. Thousands of predictions have been made. A few are bound to come true. But that argument has a flaw. Predictive programming doesn't claim the writers are prophets. It claims that the world is following the script. When a TV show shows a presidential map identical to a future election result, there are two possibilities. One, coincidence. Two, someone designed the future to match the script. Predictive programming theory suggests that elites use media to establish a framework. They create the reality in the script, and then they build the real-world version to match it. The show isn't predicting the future, it's influencing it. So where does this leave us? Predictive programming theory presents a terrifying reality. The mind is being conditioned, reality is being shaped, the future is being written. But there is an escape. The first step is awareness. Recognizing the patterns is the beginning of breaking free. The second step is critical thinking. Every time a film or series is watched, ask, what is this teaching to accept? What future is this preparing for? The third step is asking the question this video started with. Is the future being watched, or is the blueprint being watched? The truth is out there.